Right, because with Tails, it was more of, you could skip a lot of the levels with him, not like Sonic. But this was like this part in the whole story where Tails, he learns that he doesn't need to depend on Sonic forever to be there, He mans up, I guess.
You mean like at this point in the franchise?
Yeah, like this part in the franchise, because, always depending on Sonic, to be there. And, Tails at the end does, stomp the missile or whatever from going off, and he fights Eggman at the end of his story, so...
Yeah, which I think is really neat, because, up to that point in the entire series, Tails was just kind of tagging along with Sonic. He wasn't, he helped, but he didn't really know what to do on his own, I guess. He
was more of like a child in a way.
Yeah, and I like how they they made his character, more developed in this game. It was
right,
and it's like stuck throughout the series too, which I really like.
And let's see here. And of course we get to play as Knuckles.
Course, and glide in 3D, which was pretty awesome.
Gliding in 3D, and well, unlike Sonic and Tails, instead of going from checkpoint A to checkpoint B, it's more like finding pieces of emeralds.
Which in SA1 I didn't really mind, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either, because with the radar, it'd pick up all three, where in SA2 you'd only pick up like what's ever the first one.
Yeah, and you can be right next to one of the emeralds, but it won't start beeping or tell you where it is unless that's the one that you're supposed to get at the time.
Exactly. Where in SA1 I could go through all of Knuckles' levels pretty fast because it helps knowing that all three will beep. Like the other day I was playing Sonic Adventure, and I got through most of Knuckles' levels in less than 2 minutes because of that.
Yeah, it's I don't know why they changed it, just to extend gameplay time or whatever, but I don't know, the radar they used for SA1 was a lot better.
But
Much better.
Of course, that's mostly Knuckles there. About the whole treasure hunting deal.
Yeah.
And of course, were you about to say something?
I think it's the first game where Knuckles could dig too.
Oh yeah, dig. I forgot about that. And then I guess we finally get Amy as a playable character.
Yeah.
Well, not counting past games like Sonic
yeah.
are, but like actual,
Yeah. Basically, she's just a really, I would say, like a really slow version of Sonic.
Yeah, like
with a hammer.
And plus, her levels were meant to be easier than everyone else's. I mean,
are they?
I'm not judging anything by the sex or anything like that,
Are they though?
I'm just saying.
I remember having a really hard time on them as a kid for some reason.
Well, yeah. I just found, Amy just to be slow. I mean, yeah, her hammer works as a good weapon in its ways. And it does get kind of old because you're trying to do certain puzzles, and then you got Zero, lonking onto you while you're trying to get through a door or something like that, and it gets really aggravating because he won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, Amy's levels in that game, there was only like 3?
Really?
3 or 4. It wasn't that long.
Wow.
But and I think Zero was the only boss she had.
Yeah, it was. I do remember that. And then?
But of course, skipping from Amy, we get 2 brand new characters in the Sonic franchise, but one only makes it for just that game. The other one, he continues for a little while, but I believe Sega and Sonic team got rid of him. But I guess the next one would be Big the Cat.
I actually really like Big the Cat. Not his levels.
Yeah, I like Big the Cat.
I like him as a character. His levels are really tedious, I know, but just as the character, I don't know, I freaking love him.
I do like the song that plays at the end for him, their theme song.
Stoner-tastic.
Hey, big guy, hey, little guy.
What does it mean?
But,
I don't know.
But, of course, I think Big was made because of how his levels were. You know, there was no rings to really get. Well, you know, fish counted as whatever. But, you know, I think Big was there to advertise, at the time, Sega Bass Fishing for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Because if you can tell,
it's very similar.
You know, if you look at both screens, Big Fishing or the actual Sega Bass Fishing, you'll see a similarity.
Definitely.
Like
the crazy music that'll play when you get a fish.
Oh, right. You know, but Big's goal was to really just get Froggy, and of course, yeah, Froggy. But I think Froggy really wanted to run away that night. That was the whole plan before he got attacked. You could say.
Oh gosh.
But and then I guess that brings us to
a more
Gamma,
more useful character, I guess.
Let's see here. Gamma was more. He was a shoot 'em up kind of deal. You know, go around.
Which was new.
It was brand new. You know, I enjoyed Gamma. Gamma had a really good story, and I would almost want to tear up at the very end of Gamma's story.
I know, it's so sad.
It is. I'm like, oh, because he gets like, that's like one of Eggman's best creations. I've always thought.
Yeah, I think so too. I like Gamma a lot more than Omega.
Like Gamma, you know, he learns, he's programmed to, you know, to listen to what Eggman tells him to do. But after, you know, with the encounter of Amy, not many robots, I guess you could say, he ends up, you know, getting feelings and stuff.
Yeah, Gamma's a robot, by the way.
But, you know, he ends up, Kyle, keep on talking.
What the hell? Okay. Well.
Hello?
Anyways. What's going on? Oh, he's on the phone. Anyways. But yeah, Gamma, basically, he's a lot more involved than Big the Cat. I mean, Big the Cat was just kind of there to, I guess, for the advertisement purposes. But, you know, Gamma, he contributed a lot, like, in his own way. He did things on the side. I guess you could say that about most of the other characters, but he was very to the side, but he was also very involved in the sense that you know, that he actually does make friends with everybody in a sense. And that's why you get a heart from him at the end, you know, because that's what makes his ending so sad.
Right. But anyways, I guess the one thing to really clarify Sonic Adventure, we could say a little bit about the actual villain for this.
Chaos!
Yeah, Chaos! Who, you know, we find out he wasn't really a bad guy, he was more of a protector, like Knuckles is with the Emerald. But was he the protector of the Chows?
Protector of the Chows. Yeah, he was more the guardian of the Chows, really.
And, but you know, with, you know, you would end up, as with each character, you would end up going, you know, back into the past.
Yeah.
And you would learn different things, and you discovered, like, Knuckles' old ancestors, you know, they wanted the power of the Master Emerald to defeat their enemies, but, you know, to call, you know, no, you can't do that. And, of course, that pisses off Chaos, knowing that also his children, I guess you would call it, are getting hurt.
Yeah. And I think Tikal is actually the guardian of the Master Emerald at that point. Granted, she wasn't a very good one, but...
No. But, of course, and then, you know, 100 years later, I just estimated around, you know, Eggman finally finds Chaos, you know, on Angel Island, because he was, you know, sealed in the Master Emerald.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then Eggman, he finds out if he gets hold of the Chaos Emeralds, he could get a hold of this powerful beast, because he wants, of course, going back to the whole Empire kind of deal, destroy Station Square, build Eggman Land, that kind of shit.
It's always been.
But of course, you would get to eventually after when you think you defeated Chaos, and then he eventually, in the last story, Supersonic story, you end up getting it where he becomes like the liquid version of like Godzilla and stuff like that. And keep on talking, Kyle.
Which looks amazing in CGI, by the way. But when you actually see the final boss, it's a huge downgrade in graphics, and he's like, "Oh, I'm fighting that thing." Because you look in the CGI, like the opening cutscene, you're like, "Oh my god, the boss is gonna be so awesome when I get to it." But then it's still cool, but he looks a bit derpy. And now David is back.
I know I need to stop ignoring those people, but yeah, and so Sonic uses the negative power of the Chaos Emeralds or whatever to become Super Sonic.
So the negative power.
Oh shit, he uses the positive because Chaos uses the negative. My bad.
Our hearts combine to form awesome power.
But of course, and then defeats the evil, I guess you would call it, in Chaos. And then Tikal shows up, and then Tikal, the Chow's Chaos, fly away in the magical past.
Wonderland.
Something, I don't know. But, all in all, everything becomes okay, even though the city was fucking destroyed.
City's been fucking... Anyways.
But anyways, let's move on, that was Sonic Adventure.
Sonic...
You got any other thoughts or about SA1, Kyle?
SA1? To me, SA1's... It's my favorite 3D Sonic game. I don't know about you, but that's probably my favorite. Colors and Generations are pretty close up there. I mean, granted, Generations doesn't have anything really new in it, but in terms of how it plays, in terms of, I think SA1 has the best story, I guess.
Right.
I mean, Sonic Colors, it unfolds a lot more professionally, I guess, like more natural. But SA1, I don't know, there's just a lot more to it. I like how you travel back in time, and you're constantly wondering what that's all about until you finally find it all out in the end, and how the stories that will intertwine with each other, and you'll gain a better understanding as you see through this the perspectives of the other characters. So, yeah, SA1, it's glorious.
Okay, well, I guess this now brings us to Sonic Adventure's sequel, Sonic Adventure 2.
That shit was okay.
Well, yeah, of course, that was my first 3D Sonic game, because, that goes back, didn't know what a Dreamcast was, because I owned Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but, it didn't really hold up to the adventure like the first one did,